There are moments when the world grows so loud with distraction, with delay, with despair, that you begin to doubt that your presence holds divine weight in the lives of others. But hear this now. Your name is not forgotten in heaven. Your name is being woven into the thread of a miracle, into the center of someone else's breakthrough. And you are not just part of the background. You are the bridge to something sacred unfolding. Archangel Michael has been watching you quietly carry burdens you never spoke aloud, watching how you gave even when you had little, how you stayed loyal when others faded, how you whispered prayers for those who never knew you whispered their names in the dark. And because of that, there's a ripple in the unseen realm that has now reached the ears of heaven. Your name has been etched into the scrolls of answered prayers. Not just your own, but someone else's too. They may be a stranger, a friend, a soul still on the way to finding you. But they have been crying out for hope, for healing, for help. And the divine answer God has chosen to send them looks like you. Not a version of you that is perfect or polished, but the version of you that walked through fire and still chose compassion. The version of you that fought invisible battles and still chose light. There's someone right now standing at the edge of their despair, not realizing that the very moment they are about to give up is the moment heaven will dispatch you as a living sign that God hears them. You will not arrive empty-handed. You will carry peace in your voice, wisdom in your wounds, and strength in your spirit, and they will feel something awaken just by being in your presence. You may think what you've been through was for nothing, that the heartbreak and delays were pointless. But Archangel Michael wants you to know that the pain you passed through created the exact language of empathy and resilience someone else needs to believe again. You're not late. You're not random. You're not disqualified. You are being divinely positioned to walk into a moment that will forever change someone else's life. And in doing so, your own life will never be the same. You see, heaven is not bound by time like man is. While you wondered why things took so long, heaven was synchronizing your timeline with someone else's desperation. While you were healing silently, someone was falling to their knees crying, God, if you're real, send me a sign. And that sign is being formed in your footsteps. The timing of your obedience, the precision of your scars, the heart you almost shut down for disappointment. It's all part of the divine blueprint. And Archangel Michael is not just revealing this to encourage you, but to prepare you. Because what's coming next will feel like divine deja vu. You will walk into a room, meet a person, hear a story, and something deep inside you will say, this is it. The alignment will be so specific that it will undo years of doubt. They'll tell you things they've never said out loud, and you'll respond with insight you never planned. You'll realize that every delay wasn't just for your protection. It was for this purpose. You were made to be an answer prayer. You were made to be someone's reminder that God sees, God hears, and God still shows up in human form. Your presence will ignite healing. Your words will break strongholds. And your story will give someone else the courage to begin again. Archangel Michael is guarding your steps now, removing the final barriers, cutting off the ties that were draining your energy, sharpening your spiritual discernment so you recognize this moment when it arrives. You may not realize it yet, but someone is already being prepared to receive you as their miracle. They are having dreams with your presence. They are sensing a shift in their spirit. They're about to collide with the very promise they almost stopped believing in. And that promise is walking in the form of you. Stay faithful. Stay open. Because the miracle they're praying for is about to walk in, and it's wearing your name. And though you cannot yet see the ripple, it has already begun. The kind of ripple that travels through heaven's corridors and whispers to the angels. Prepare the way for this soul, for their name has been chosen as the vessel of divine impact. Archangel Michael wants you to know that this is not about being famous in the eyes of man, but becoming unforgettable in the memory of eternity, because you chose love when bitterness seemed easier. You chose silence when your flesh wanted revenge. You chose to walk away without recognition. But heaven recorded every single act. The pages of spiritual history do not celebrate those who shouted the loudest, but those who stayed faithful in the shadows, those who wept in private and still showed up for others with light in their voice. And now, because of what you endured without applause, you are about to walk into a moment where someone else's pain collides with your preparation. Archangel Michael says they've been feeling the tremble in their chest, and they don't know why. Their soul has been stirred, their sleep disrupted, their emotions raw, and they don't realize it's because heaven is drawing them toward you. Their miracle is magnetized by your spirit, not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned. Your name has been written in the spiritual atmosphere above them. And when they meet you, it won't be about appearance, status, or credentials. It will be about resonance. They will feel known. They will feel safe. They will feel like God answered them. And it won't make sense logically, but miracles never do. Some will say it's coincidence, but their spirit will testify that something divine just entered their world. You may have felt lately that you're invisible, passed over, tired of waiting. But Archangel Michael assures you this wilderness season was not punishment, it was preservation. You weren't being delayed, you were being refined. Heaven needed you ready not just to speak life, but to sustain it. The person your spirit will be assigned to is not weak, but they are weary. They have tried to end it all more than once. They have stared at ceilings asking, God, do you even see me? They've been surrounded by many, but truly known by none. And heaven said, I will not let them fall. I will send someone with eyes like fire and a voice like calm waters. I will send the one I've been preparing through pain. I will send you. That's why the enemy fought you so hard. Not because of your past, but because of your position. You were born to carry a miracle, and the enemy tried to make you disbelieve your worth, hoping you'd never step into this moment. But you kept going. You kept waking up. You kept forgiving. And now the reward of your endurance is not just a blessing for you, it's breakthrough for someone else. Your name is rising in their spirit even now, in visions, in songs, in subtle signs. They may not know it consciously, but they're being drawn to a divine appointment. And when your paths cross, time will bend and destiny will speak. It will feel like coming home to a place you never knew you missed. They will say things like, I feel like I've known you forever. And you'll smile because your soul will remember this was written long ago. Archangel Michael wants you to prepare, not with fear, but with expectancy. That pull you feel lately to isolate, to rest more, to pray in deeper ways. It's because your spirit knows something is near. The universe is adjusting its schedule around you. Doors you forgot you knocked on are now swinging open, not because you forced them, but because divine timing has arrived. And when you meet the person whose miracle carries your name, Everything you question will begin to make sense. Why that door closed? Why they left? Why you had to start over again? Why no one understood? Because if you had taken a different route, you wouldn't have arrived here at the exact moment someone else's life depends on your presence. Archangel Michael says, "You are the remedy disguised as a stranger. You are the interruption to the pattern of their pain. You are the moment their world begins to change. You are the living answer to prayers they've long thought were ignored. So do not underestimate the silence you've been sitting in. It's where heaven speaks the loudest. Do not despise the detours you've walked. They were carving out holy ground. Do not think your name has been forgotten. It has only been hidden until the right soul is ready to receive it. And that moment is closer than you think. Even now, something is being moved into place. One more delay, one more cancellation, one more last-minute change that will position you exactly where you're meant to be. Your miracle is not behind you. It is rising with your name on its breath. Stay alert, stay open, stay aligned. You're not just a chapter in someone's story. You are the divine plot twist that brings it all together. You are being written into a miracle that won't just change their life. It will resurrect yours too. You may not realize it yet, but every step you've taken in pain, every prayer you whispered through clenched teeth, every night you wrestled with silence and begged heaven for a sign, it was never in vain. Archangel Michael is revealing that these invisible moments, the ones you thought no one saw, have been the very ink that God has used to etch your name into someone else's destiny. There is a person out there wandering through uncertainty, unaware that the map to their healing carries your spiritual fingerprint. Your voice will be the sound their soul has been aching for, not because it's loud, but because it carries truth soaked in fire and mercy. There is no coincidence in this season. Every delay has been strategic, every heartbreak a reshaping, every no a rerouting that has been aligning you with the person who needs you most. You're not just crossing paths for a brief moment. You're stepping into a divine assignment where your past pain becomes a present breakthrough for someone else. This is not about romance, not about validation, not about some temporary high. This is about eternal purpose. Archangel Michael says that while you've been thinking you were being prepared for a reward, you've actually been prepared to become one. You're the answer wrapped in flesh, the miracle that walks, breathes, speaks. Your silence has trained you to hear others without words. Your waiting has trained you to walk slowly enough to notice the wounded ones others overlook. You carry the medicine of presence. You carry the kind of peace that doesn't make noise but still silences every storm. And the one who's about to receive your presence may not understand it first. They might resist it. They might question your timing, but you'll see it in their eyes. The moment their soul exhales and realizes they've finally found what they didn't know they were seeking. And that moment will not come by your effort, but by your alignment. Archangel Michael says you are not being called to chase, convince, or strive. You're being called to show up. When you show up in your fullness, without pretending, without shrinking, without over-explaining, miracles begin to make their entrance. Chains that have lived in someone else's bloodline for generations begin to snap, not because of what you say, but because of what you carry. You were forged in fire not to impress, but to release. And even if you felt broken beyond repair, even if you've convinced yourself you're too late, too tired, too flawed, God has already made his decision about you. You are the one. You are the one. Your name is not just written in the book of life. It is woven into the fabric of another person's miracle. Archangel Michael says the enemy has tried to distract you in these final moments with feelings of unworthiness, with isolation, with comparison. But all of that is noise. The truth is, you have always been more than ready. The battlefield you've endured wasn't meant to break you. It was to train you in how to break chains. That dream you keep having, the repeating images, the feelings that linger when you wake, it's not imagination, it's visitation. Heaven has been placing impressions on your heart because the one you're meant to meet is already being spiritually awakened. You're feeling the echo of their prayers as they feel the echo of your pain. And somewhere in the realm between earth and eternity, your names are colliding. There is a divine bridge forming in the unseen. And as you draw closer to the moment of crossing, you'll begin to notice unusual signs. Songs you haven't heard in years playing at just the right time. Memories surfacing without reason. Sudden urges to go to places or speak to people you hadn't thought of in ages. These are not random. These are spiritual breadcrumbs. Your angels are guiding your steps with precision because the window of destiny is opening, and you must walk through it fully aware of who you are. You're not just showing up to bless someone else. You are about to witness your own prayers being answered in the process. Because when you bless them, when you speak what only you could speak, when you stay present in the exact moment they almost give up, you will also receive the outpouring of healing that has been waiting to touch your life too. This is not a one-way miracle. It's a divine exchange. And Archangel Michael says, do not look back now. The people who didn't understand, you weren't meant to. The ones who misjudged, you weren't qualified to define you. The ones who ghosted, you weren't strong enough to walk beside you in this sacred hour. Forgive them, release them, bless them, and keep walking. Because ahead of you is someone whose life will never be the same after meeting you. Their soul has been circling the edge of surrender, and your voice will call them back. Their healing is wrapped in your testimony. Their peace is hidden in your presence. Your name has been etched into the unfolding miracle that is about to collide with destiny. Prepare yourself, not by doing more, but by being more. Be more open, more present, more grounded. Because the appointment you are about to step into was written before you were born. You were made for this. And now comes the moment that heaven has been orchestrating from the start. The final alignment, the sacred collision of purpose, the unveiling of what you were unknowingly created to fulfill. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something you've never fully grasped until now. You are not walking into someone's miracle by accident. You are the miracle. All the delays, the spiritual warfare, the heartbreak, the silence, the nights when you questioned your worth and begged God for proof that your life wasn't invisible, none of it was wasted. Every tear that fell from your eyes planted something in the spiritual realm that is now beginning to sprout in someone else's life. You see, when heaven writes your name into a miracle, it isn't in ink, it's in fire. It cannot be erased, cannot be overwritten by the enemy's schemes, cannot be replaced by someone else who looks the part but doesn't carry the anointing you do. You don't need to beg for validation. The truth is, you've already been confirmed. What's coming toward you will recognize your spirit before it recognizes your face. What's arriving now was drawn to you by the echo of your endurance, by the rhythm of your obedience, even when no one was watching. Archangel Michael is showing you that the person on the other side of this divine setup is not just hoping for a savior. They're hoping for someone real. Someone who has been through the fire and didn't burn. Someone who has loved deeply and still believes in light. Someone who can sit in silence without trying to fix everything and still shift the atmosphere with their presence. That someone is you. You were never meant to fit in because you were built to stand out for this moment. The heaviness you've been carrying lately, it's not depression. It's not confusion. It's the weight of spiritual transition. The tug you feel on your heart is the pull of destiny gathering everything that once felt scattered. The weariness in your bones is not a sign of failure. It's the last stretch of the wilderness before the river breaks open. Archangel Michael says the energy around you is shifting so rapidly that people will begin to sense something different in you before you even speak. Old friends may call unexpectedly. Dreams may become more vivid. Even your enemies may begin to withdraw, not because they've changed, but because the light of your spiritual authority is becoming too strong for them to hide in. You are moving into a space where discernment is your shield, peace is your weapon, and clarity is your new default. The person you're about to encounter, whose life is about to be changed forever, is not just anyone. There's someone who prayed a prayer that only your presence can answer. There's someone who almost gave up until your name was whispered into their soul by divine hands. That's why Archangel Michael has been guiding you to places you don't understand, pulling you out of relationships that looked right but felt wrong, stripping away distractions that once felt comfortable but were actually delaying your arrival. Because now, every step counts. Now, every word carries weight. Now, your voice is being heard beyond time. Someone is seeing visions of you in their dreams. Someone is feeling a pull in their spirit they can't explain. And it's not your job to chase them. Your only assignment now is to stay in alignment. You don't need to force what is already being drawn toward you by spiritual gravity. Archangel Michael says that you will know it when it happens. Not because the sky will split or angels will shout, but because your soul will go still. The chaos will quiet. The ache will settle. And the moment your eyes meet, there's something in both of you will exhale. This is how destiny feels when it arrives. Not loud, but holy. Not rushed, but right on time. And you'll realize that the reason it took so long was not because God was punishing you, but because he was preparing you to hold something eternal. And even after this miracle appears, even after this divine connection manifests, there will be more. Because miracles multiply through those who remain surrendered. You are being entrusted now with a spiritual seed that will ripple through generations. Your story will become someone's foundation. Your name will be spoken in rooms where blessings are decided. Your presence will calm storms you didn't know were raging in others. You're no longer waiting for a breakthrough. You are walking in it. And for those who mocked you, doubted you, dismissed you, Archangel Michael says, do not seek revenge, for heaven is already handling it. Your success will speak louder than any defense. Your elevation will silence every lie. You will be known not by noise, but by impact. This is the hour you've been prepared for in secret. This is the miracle that has your name written inside it. Do not hesitate. Do not question your worth. Step into the divine assignment that has been waiting for you to finally believe the truth. You were never forgotten. You were never overlooked. You were hidden only so you could be revealed at the appointed time. And now, your name is being spoken, your presence is being summoned, and your miracle is arriving with the weight of heaven behind it.